And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Another live stream providing you an update with regard to the managerial search as a bit of a twist has emerged. Now look, in our last live stream we discussed yesterday in the fallout of course with regard to Steven Gerrard basically ruling himself out of being the next manager. We've seen Danny Role become the front runner. And again, a lot of fans feeling that this is very underwhelming at this moment in time. And again, we spoke about the pros, the cons of having a manager like Danny Role. But we did feel as if the candidates, the final shortlist that were being spoken about, were kind of underwhelming, really. Ralph Hasenhüttl was one of them. We had Danny Role, Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna, these kind of level managers, and it just felt in the Rangers fan base that not a lot of people were galvanised by the prospect of them taking over the football club. However, as stated, there is a bit of a twist, and actually I mentioned him yesterday, Kevin Muscat. Now, every single time we've been looking for a new manager, even dating back to Philippe Clement, really, in fact, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, I'd go as far to say, there's been another name that has always emerged, and that's Kevin Muscat. And I spoke yesterday about the silence with regard to Kevin Muscat. Why is Kevin Muscat not in the sort of race for the job? However, now, over the last couple of hours, we're starting to get reports that suggest that he's now one of the front runners to take over the job. Guys, we're going to get over to X. We're going to go looking through these articles and discuss Kevin Muscat and get your thoughts and opinions on this as well. So do get involved in the live chat. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But let's go through the latest information on what we know thus far with regard to potentially Kevin Muscat. So yes, as you can see, let's get over here. As you can see in the latest managerial hunt, I mean, the Scottish Sun were one of the sources that did a exclusive, so to speak. Kevin Muscat emerges as a serious contender for Rangers job as Ibrox Chiefs admire ex-Light Blues star. We'll get into those articles in a moment, but Glasgow Rangers are accelerating their search for a new manager following Steven Gerrard's rejection for the role, with 52-year-old Australian coach Kevin Muscat emerging as a leading candidate. Muscat, who won a domestic treble as a Rangers player in 2002-2003, has since secured league titles with Melbourne Victory, Yokohama F. Marinos, and Shanghai Port, impressing club executives with his attacking style and Scottish football experience. Currently under contract with Shanghai Port, Muscat's potential mid-season move poses challenges as Rangers languish in 7th place in the Scottish Premiership, 9 points behind Celtic. So, as you can see here, we're getting it from this, and as I said, people can say about heart and hand, you know, they'll be fine with this. About 4 weeks of waiting is a worry. We're going to get to that in a moment as well. As stated, it is through the middle of the season. But fans like this a little bit better. Now, there is a few different sources bringing it up. Now, you can see, of course, TalkSport running with the story as well, as you can see. We've seen this one with regard to Slaven Bilic. However, there was talks, of course, with regard to this man here, as you can see, Muscat being emerged on TalkSport, but a lot of the rags are going with this story now. And if you look on sort of Glasgow Times as such, their article reads, the former Rangers defender has been heavily linked with the post when it had been vacant in recent years. However, the 52-year-old is yet to manage in the UK, never received a call, with both Michael Beale and Philippe Clement being previously favoured. That could also be about to change, with Ibrox Chiefs looking to conclude their search for Russell Martin's successor. The Scottish Sun, that's their exclusive, so take that with a pinch of salt, say that Muscat is one of the names being considered by Andrew Kavanagh and Parag Maraf. The club's American ownership are under huge pressure from expectant supporters to make the right decision, and it seems Muscat, along with Hearts boss Derek McInnes, would be popular choices among the fans. Danny Role is still considered to be the front runner though for the position. However, Muscat has vastly more managerial experience than the 36-year-old. Now, all of a sudden, this looks a little more promising. You're looking at the fans' response to this and people liking this. They're liking that the idea of potentially having Kevin Muscat come in over the likes of, Danny Role, Michael Carrick, Kieran Maguire, etc., etc. So, yeah, you're already seeing the sort of pendulums shift, if you like, in reports with regard to Kevin Muscat. Fans like this appointment a bit more. But this is where the caveat gets to, is that Kevin Muscat is still in the job. He's currently managing Shanghai Port. So there could potentially be a 4-week wait for the manager to appoint him. Now, Kevin Muscat, currently at the time of recording, is coming to the end of the season. You know, Shanghai, Chinese Super League, they don't run parallel with the sort of European leagues. Now, this would probably see, as we're seeing, 4 weeks until the end of the season. Now, can Rangers manage to wait 4 weeks for Kevin Muscat? Could that be a potential here? Well, if we're looking at our matches that are coming up, bearing in mind there's another international break only in the matter of 2-3 weeks, so to speak. Literally, if you can see here, we've not got that many games, although we do have very important games. But some would argue, would we be able to manage them? Again, there is a few games, as including a League Cup semi-final against Celtic at Hampden. We've got a must-win game here against Brann in the Europa League, and we've got no coaching staff really to take us there. Now, after that game, there's another international break. So there is a few games to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 matches. But to wait for the right candidate, that would certainly galvanise the Rangers support. Could people get behind it? Yeah, possibly. However, would have to put someone in an interim appointment for then. So he's not going to be a guy that would be coming in straight away because he's on the back of winning 2 titles in the row. Shanghai Port, as you can see, top of the table, coming to the end of their season. 3 losses already this season. But this is another brilliant pursuit for the title for them. They're also playing the AFC Champions League, so I think they're still in the start of that in terms of the group stage or whatnot, so he wouldn't be able to see out that. But look, if you're looking at Super League games left, he's got this one, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's the end of the season, title secure, and then he could be on his way by that international break. Potentially. But Kevin Muscat, again, as I keep on saying, it seems to be a bit more of a popular appointment for in terms of Rangers fans. Now, why? Well, as we mentioned, he's won 3 titles at 3 different clubs. He did well at Melbourne Victory, he did well at Yokohama F. Marinos, and he did well in China. So he's done a very, I suppose, not so sexy route in management. He's been in Europe, and that was terrible, by the way. He was there for 6 months. Just as a caveat. But as you can see, knows the league, so to speak. Of course, spent a bit of time at Rangers, just 1 season albeit, but has some experience, knows the expectations and the pressure of the football club, but does have quite a really good managerial record if you're looking at what he's done thus far. Now, people will make comparisons about these leagues and saying, well, they're not really any good, and you can't do it. But look, 49% win rate at Melbourne Victory. This is where it's stinking. He won 2 games in Belgium at St. Truden, but we can dissect and look under the bonnet with regard to that. Yokohama F. Marinos, 57.6%, and this one's really impressive, 67%. So he's only lost 13 games out of possible 68 thus far with Shanghai Port, on the route to essentially winning back-to-back titles with Shanghai Port. And I'll go into their sort of history to see if what he's done, if it's him who's secured these titles as they're expected to. Yokohama F. Marinos. Now, these teams are expected to do well in their league, and he's done it with where he is. So you can only judge a man what he's done. Now, yes, a little while ago he was managing here, but are you really expecting this team to go on and do anything special? You know, they're finishing 9th here. You know, it's not a dominant team within the league. It was just a way into Europe. But, you know, since he's left, they're not exactly lighting the place up and winning titles on a week-to-week basis. So I don't necessarily look at it like that. But as you can see, look at his managerial record in terms of his honours that he's won. 2 A-League trophies. I don't think Melbourne Victory always dominate that league. J1 League with Yokohama F. Marinos. Also, of course, winning the Super Cup. Yeah? Finishing 2nd twice in the league. Nearly going to be doing back-to-back titles in the Chinese Super League. Winning an FA Cup as well. A-League Coach of the Year. So he's got some credibility with him, but obviously people would still say the jury's still out with regard to these divisions. However, having said that, you know, I would go as far to say as there has been scrutiny on certain people that have come from that side of the woods. And coming to Scotland, we're not talking about this being the sort of Premier League guys, and I love the Scottish game, I really do. But, you know, you don't have to be, you know, is our league comparable to the Chinese Super League in terms of quality? Probably. You know, J-League. probably. The J-League's a pretty good league. So he's done some pretty good work there. I don't know who's the current champions out there. Vissel Kobe, very competitive league. So is the J1 league. So it's some quite good experience there. So I'm interested to see. Let's get over to Grok and ask about. Tell me, Kevin Muscat's managerial philosophy, so to speak. And let's see what he's all about. Because the thing is, I think some people get attracted by names in the Rangers fan base. Whilst I don't think for a second that Rangers fans have actually sat there and watched the A-League, nor the J-League, nor the Chinese Super League, as much as they probably not having watched Danny Roll. I think the name just looks a little bit better. But yeah, so Kevin Muscat is an Australian coach, leading Shanghai Port in the Chinese Super League. He guided them to the highest scoring team in world football this season. I mean, that's no fucking shitty shit to look at, by the way. That's no thing to turn your nose up. He guided them to the highest scoring team in world football this season. He's built a reputation for high energy, trophy winning style honed across the A-League, J1 League, and now the Chinese Super League. Great, I like the sound of that. His approach draws from his playing days as a tenacious defender, known for uncompromising aggression and leadership. He has evolved into a modern attacking blueprint influenced by mentors like Ange Postecoglou. It's often described as astounding for its results, though not without the risks, and as it prioritised flair over caution. So people didn't like Russell Martin, and we've seen what Ange Postecoglou's football's done in the Premier League. I wouldn't look at it like that. But let's dive a little bit more into him, shall we? Attacking intent and fluidity, the offensive core. Muscat demands purposeful, direct attacking football that's aggressive and relentless, favouring formations like 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 to overload the final third. Teams under him play with real intent, pushing high up the pitch, exploiting width, and transitioning quickly from defence to attack. It's fluid and possession orientated, but not passive. Think quick, vertical passes and overlapping runs rather than patient build-up. Yokohama's 22 title run, for instance, featured the league's highest goals scored, earning Pep Guardiola's endorsement for its potency. Key tactic, strategic counterattacks combined with set-piece expertise to punish opponents. This has led to high-scoring outputs. Shanghai Port's record-breaking goals in 2024-25, but it can expose defences, resulting in high concessions too. Defensive solidity with disciplined aggression. Despite the forward thrust, Muscat emphasises resolute organisation at the back, blending physicality from his playing roots with tactical adaptability. It's not reckless, it's disciplined aggression, pressing high to win the ball, early while maintaining shape to counter transitions. He maximises players' strengths, tailoring roles to fit robust midfield pivots for recovery. Critics note occasional vulnerabilities in open games, but this setup has delivered titles like the A-League, J-League, and multiple CSL leagues. Far from the fiery player nicknamed the most hated man in football for his hard tackles, Managerial Muscat is studious and tactically astute, rarely raising his voice. He fosters a winning mentality through quiet authority, building trust and emotional investment, much like the captain rallying his squad. Focus on adaptability and evolution, he learns from setbacks, e.g., Yokohama's late season dips, and instills resilience, often taking over strong squads and elevating them further. Clubs must fully buy into this unflinching vision, as he's hinted in rejecting roles where philosophies clash. Overall result over risk. Muscat's philosophy is pragmatic yet bold. Winning trophies is one thing, but the football allowed us to do that. It's the high reward, titles in every major stop, but demands buy-in for intensity. And as one analyst put it, it's aggressive attacking football that tends to deliver titles, even if it means occasional chaos. So a little bit of chaos here as well. So in short, Muscat's style is a high-octane mix of tough pass and tactical smarts, exciting effectiveness, and unapologetic. Is why he's linked to big jobs like Rangers. Where is Rangers playing stint adds intrigue. If you're a fan of end-to-end thrillers over parked bus, it's catnip. So there you go. I mean, I'm just going to see the chat, guys. What are we saying with the chat here? I just want to get an overall idea what people are saying in the chat. Just a quick one. Muscat, yes or no? Let me know in the live chat. Or do you want somebody else? Danny Roll. I'm saying Muscat's name's fairly popular within the Rangers space at this moment in time, if you're looking at it. Kevin Muscat is my number one choice for the job. He is brilliant. I have been watching his teams for years. He plays aggressive attacking football and is a serial winner. In an interview, Muscat said that the board at St. Trudeby's refused to sign any players during pre-season, despite him knowing he needed more backing. Again, there's always a story to be told there, you know? So I definitely see that. The J-League players rip us apart. I would say the J-Leaguers are better than us, to be fair. Not Rangers in terms of their teams, but I'm saying the overall league quality over the Scottish League, for sure. Muscat ain't coming to Rangers. Remember, he's not back for Bill and Clement. We've been absolutely traded on by Kyogo, Maeda, Harte. Oh, wow, how can you honestly say that these leagues are inferior when they are regularly producing players of this caliber? No, I do. I'm saying... I would say their teams, I say if you take their best team in Japan, I would say, you know, well, maybe it's a bad comparison this season because Rangers and Celtic are absolutely rank rotten. But if you're comparing their best teams to Rangers and Celtic, I would expect Rangers and Celtic to beat their best teams, if you get what I mean. I'm saying the league more competitively in Japan, and there's more quality amongst the other teams. In Scotland, it's really only Rangers and Celtic, and actually Hearts this year. But Gerrard or Muscat? I'm actually buying into this Muscat. Shall we compare him to Russell Martin, shall we? I don't want playing career. We want to know as a manager. But yeah, chat, just let me know what you're thinking in terms of Kevin Muscat. Or give me someone else if you don't like. High energy attacking football with a focus on quick transitions, width and overloading the final third. Remember, Russell Martin is shit. And remember, so much more successful. I don't know why he's been snubbed. And actually from a Muscat standpoint, this is the next move for him. Now, people can say that we rejected him before. That's fair. But if he wants to progress his managerial career, this is actually a really good move for him. Because he's come to Europe before, it's failed for him. Now, we've seen, if you're successful at Rangers and Celtic, guys, you get a job to the Premier League. Simple as that. And if you do well at Rangers now and turn this ship around whilst we're absolutely ranked rotten, it even furthers the merit. And he could probably get a Premier League job if that's what he wants later on down the line, 2, 3, 4 years away. So I think it would be a no-brainer for him, because where is he going to stay in Shanghai Port for the rest of his career? No, I think this is a right move where, look, every manager probably wants to go to the Premier League. Let's be perfectly honest. And, you know, it's naive to think that they're not. You know, gone are the days, I suppose, of sort of Sir Alex Ferguson's as such, where they just stay at the club. Walter Smith, for our instance. And even Walter went on to pastors new at one point. So, yeah, we got to look at it. It's probably going to be a stepping stone. But if a manager can deliver trophy and success over the 3-4 years that they're there, then, you know, say la vie, I'm happy with that, etc. But yeah. So that's the defensive exposure in open games. That was Russell Martin's problem, by the way, and that's what we've seen. Inflexibility and lack of a cutting edge. Of course, there might be a defensive exposure, but let's see. Ours is more of this. Muscat is more of a proven manager with a trophy-laden career and a dynamic, adaptable style that delivers results across diverse leagues. His philosophy balances aggression with pragmatism, making him suited for high-pressure, win-now roles. This is what you need. Win-now roles, e.g. with the Rangers link. Martin is not promising. He's crap, but yeah. But if you're picking an instant impact in silverware, Muscat's your man. For a patient, stylistic rebuild, Martin's the better bet, provided he gets the time. That's the key with Martin, and that we don't have that. So it makes all sense, really. I've said my verdict. I've seen that it's on Kevin, and I like the look of it. Let's see what happens with regard to it, shall we? But that's the latest updates. He's emerged as potentially a front runner for the job, but we'll have to see what happens in due course. Again, I don't really know full well what's happening with the Rangers stuff. Dominic says, I don't want Rao, by the way, but I find it ridiculous people find Rao incapable, but Muscat a great appointment. The Martin appointment was so bad, it's kind of scared other good young managers away. Facts. Facts. Martin is the man for the job. I would like Martin. Sorry, Martin. Fucking Martin. I would like Muscat. I would. A wee bit concerned. Sounds like Martin did, especially this must buy in defensive fatalities. We've been absolutely treaded on by Kyogo, Maeda, Hatate. Oh, how can you honestly say that these leagues are inferior when they are regularly producing players of this calibre? Also, from the recruitment standpoint, that could be a very good thing as well by having Muscat. Knowing from a different area, you know, fishing from another pond. And I don't like to give Celtic credit, but their best players arguably have been from sort of the J-League recently. And to be fair, their recruitment hasn't been that good since they were sort of... Ange literally had this like golden transfer window where he just brought in older reinforcements, whether that be Hatate, Kyogo. They kind of lit up the league. Since then, their recruitment's been a bit iffy actually since then. So maybe there's somewhere that we could be shopping personally. But let's see how this one rolls out, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's update. Do let me know your thoughts on Muscat. Would you like him? If not, let me know your other favoured pick. But yeah.